Welcome back to Crow's Thrifty Finds. My name is Melanie. How's everybody doing this week? I'm doing pretty good. This week we are going to talk about some items that may shock you in their value that they sell for on eBay. A lot of these items are vintage, and these may not be the highest sales you'll ever have, but they're items that maybe you would have overlooked and not purchased had you not have known that they had some value. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. Number one, we are going to talk about Pizza Hut. Who doesn't love Pizza Hut? I love Pizza Hut. But when it comes to something that folks get really nostalgic about, maybe you can guess this. It's the red cups. Who remembers the red cups when you dined in at Pizza Hut? I think I just unlocked a core memory for many of you. But I didn't realize the value of these up until recently. I was actually at an estate sale with a friend of mine, and she pointed out a red plastic cup at the estate sale that we were at and said, "What does this remind you of?" And immediately I said, Pizza Hut. And I thought to myself, I wonder if these have any value. I didn't know. And we didn't actually have an authentic Pizza Hut cup, which was a shame, because if we had, we would have learned, and that I still learned anyways, that they sell for $45, around that, in that range. Who would have thought? Apparently the nostalgia is strong, and people want these cups. They want them in their house. So $45 each. Should you find some Pizza Hut cups, you got to be careful with the patterns because they do have that very distinct kind of bumpy pattern. So that's what you need to be on the lookout for. But this is something you could pick up for very cheap at a garage sale, at a rummage sale. Just, I imagine these things are selling for a quarter if somebody has them laying around. So definitely want to keep your eyes open for those red Pizza Hut plastic cups. Next, we're going to talk about something what I would consider unusual. Maybe others would not. Vintage diapers. Guess what, everybody? These things sell big money. And I believe size is important. I believe the bigger, the better. And I believe this is probably a fetish market item. But these things can sell in the thousands, as you can see, which absolutely blows my mind. So this could be one of the biggest sales you've ever had. Should you find a new box of vintage diapers in larger sizes, it's good to know these things. Yes, it's unusual, but there is a market for these. So if you see them, pick them up. Chances are you're going to get them for a good deal, as the person selling them probably is not aware of their true value. Next, after I realized I wanted to share the diapers, it made me think about something that I sold a couple of years back on eBay, and I made really good money on it. We're moving on from diapers to underwear. Vintage Hanes underwear in different themes, and sometimes it just can be nice patterns. For whatever reason, people want the vintage ones. And I get it to an extent. The one that I found was actually some underwear that I had as a kid, because I had Chippendale Rescue Ranger underwear. And I found a brand new package of them for 50 cents at a yard sale. And I said to myself, somebody's going to want to give these to their kids so they have them also. And sure enough, they sold very quickly. I sold them for $50. They do, as you can see, theme is important. They could sell, in the $30 range. It's, just depending on what's on them, how much they sell for, and how rare they are. But should you see vintage new packages of Hanes kids underwear, probably worth looking up and probably worth picking up. Next, we have retired road signs. This one may not be the biggest shocker to some, as you've probably, seen a retired road sign in someone's man cave or basement. But these are fun items to pick up. And an item that I've found fairly frequently at garage sales and yard sales in different places. So I would say your likelihood of finding one of these is pretty good. Obviously, you want to price check and make sure you're getting a good deal, but I've always been able to make pretty good amounts of money, like at least, $30, $40, on each one that I've found. And again, like like other items, theme is important. You want to make sure it's kind of, a more fun, unique road sign. You'll make more money on it. But I think a lot of them sell. So it's something worth looking out for that sells for good money. They can sell in the hundreds. So worth looking out for sure. Next, an item I found out about recently. It kind of blew my mind, but in a way, it makes sense. Plastic shopping bags, especially, from stores that don't exist anymore, or stores that evoke a lot of nostalgia. You can see here there's a Tower Records bag. I know Tower Records kind of recently started selling items again, which was really cool and exciting. But yeah, those vintage Tower Records bags, those sell great. There's lots of different stores that have bags that you can sell for. So who would have thought that you could get $30 for a plastic bag that's been sitting in your house for 20 years? Definitely worth looking up. Should you have any laying around or stumble upon any, definitely sellable. Who would have thunk? Next, this is more of a general keep your eyes open for, theme item that maybe people might not know. I'd like to think that items with this character carry more value than the average character. So be on the lookout for Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes. There's a certain group of folks that really like Marvin the Martian. And I find that, the Marvin the Martian items almost always sell for more than, you got a Marvin the Martian vinyl figure versus a Bugs Bunny figure. You're probably going to sell that Marvin the Martian figure for twice the amount that Bugs Bunny is sold for. So it's not that I have a specific item in particular of Marvin the Martian. It's just for you all to know that character in particular is popular, and your average Marvin the Martian item is typically worth picking up and selling. Are you going to make hundreds on it? Not necessarily, but I sold a lot of Marvin the Martian items and did really well with that lot. So it's something to be on the lookout for. Next, I'm going to talk about something that might surprise you that has value ever still. Some big, bulky, old televisions. And there's different varieties of these that sell for good money. Sometimes there's just popular models of TV VCR combos. There's ones that play well with video games. There's a whole bunch of reasons why these older TVs are still popular. But the ones that I want to highlight specifically are cartoon-themed televisions. So here we have SpongeBob SquarePants. This television, as you can see, is selling in the 300s. Granted, there's free shipping, and this is going to be a heavy item, so it's going to cost a little bit to ship, but chances are you could find one of these for pretty cheap on Facebook Marketplace, very likely. The next TV, a friend of mine actually did find on Facebook Marketplace for a good deal, and she flipped it and made some good money on it. This Disney Princess television, look at what these are selling for. Hundreds. So should you find these cartoony televisions, VCRs, TV VCR combos, you want to pick these up. Obviously, look them up first just to be sure. Always give that caveat. But these are good pickups. So keep your eyes peeled. Next, something else I found out about recently, and now I am checking for continuously. Whenever I have cash, I am looking for fun serial numbers on dollar bills. Was not aware that this was a thing until recently. But yes, this is a thing. So you got a serial number that, has all twos, all fives, all zeros, whatever the pattern of numbers are that are all the same number in a row. Those are big money. And then there's also palindromes, which is how the number is reading the same in both directions. So if you can have the same combination of numbers each way, that's a palindrome on the serial number. Those are worth good money. So you're talking about sometimes doubling the cost of whatever bill you have, sometimes tripling and even more, just depending on how unique it is. And it doesn't even matter if the dollar bill has been circulated. This is good money. So for all of you that have cash on you, carry cash, look it over. You never know. You could have something really, really amazing. Next, we have Goosebumps. Goosebumps books. Who remembers Goosebumps? I remember Goosebumps. I was a big Goosebumps reader in the earlier middle school years. They were good fun to read. And these books in lots sell excellent. And a lot of the times you're going to see I see Goosebumps books often at garage sales. People still have them. Condition is semi-important, but not terribly important, I guess you could say. What's more important is that you get a good collection of them. And there's different varieties of Goosebumps books that are more popular. Really any variety of Goosebumps books should get you some money. So you can see these lots sell really, really well. So you want to, this summer when you're out at those garage sales, you want to look for Goosebumps books. It's worth it. Build a collection, sell the lots. I've done it. You make great money. They're very popular. And that concludes the list for this week. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. It's an important thing for me. It helps my channel. Definitely drop a comment if you learned something new, or maybe you want to share something with us that you find is shocking that it sells for so much money. We're going to put on our shocked faces this week. I hope I shocked you a little bit this week. But that's it for this week. Bye for now. This is Melanie with Crow's Thrifty Finds. I'll see you next week.